Aloha, everybody. This is Cathy Bilsky, the Quantum Leap Let Light Unite show on UPRN Radio. This is Friday, October 9th, 2020. And guess what, guys? We have another night of not talking politics. How cool is that, huh? So tonight, I'm going to bring Bobbie Merrill back on. And last week we were talking about dolphins. We're going to keep talking about dolphins this week. But we're also going to share with you on how the dolphins are also teaching us to manifest. So, take your shoes off and enjoy. Because also for those of you who have visual, I'll show you a few dolphin pictures of the dolphins I actually swam with. So, hi, Bobbie. How are you?
Hi, Cathy. I'm fine. I love talking about the dolphins, so I'm looking forward to it.
And especially when we swam with the same dolphin. I mean, how crazy is that?
I know. That's exciting. So I can't wait to hear about your connection with Eva.
Well, I want everybody to know a little bit about you first before we get into that. So can you share?
Yes. Okay. So I was born and raised in Hawaii, and I grew up there surfing, and we didn't even know we had dolphins in the water with us. And it wasn't until my 50th birthday, actually, that I got in the water with them. And it was at a time where it was just getting started, where people were swimming in the wild with dolphins. That was very new. And so I didn't even know what I was getting into. Didn't know if they would be friendly or not friendly, or, it was a little scary. But I had, I was a swimmer on the swim team and a surfer and a lifeguard and a swim instructor. So I was pretty comfortable in the water. And so I braved it and was one of the first to swim in the wild with dolphins. And I got so hooked on it, and they reeled me in, so that I spent the next 10 years actually traveling throughout the world, swimming with them in different areas, in Bimini and Mexico and Tonga and all over Caribbean. And so what's exciting is that I also swam. I didn't swim with, I communicated with some of the captive dolphins and got to know some of them pretty well. And it took a while for me to really believe it, but I discovered that they were communicating with me. And I'm a therapist. So I'm a person who's used to really listening deeply to people and what they're trying to share. And so they picked an interesting person to start talking to, because I was able to do that deep listening. And I was also a writer. I had written Parachutes for Parents, a parenting book already. And so I thought it was really kind of interesting the way they picked me out to kind of help them share some messages with the world.
Well, you wrote 2 books on the dolphin. One is Listening to Wild Dolphins, but the new one is called Compelling Conversations with Dolphins and Whales in the Wild.
Right.
Now, I was guided to your first book because a long time ago, a woman gave me a bunch of dolphin books. And after my first experience with the tame dolphins, I mean, I've had these books sitting there for like 5-6 years. I decided I better check them out. So I started reading your book, and it was mind-blowing because it's such a high spiritual level that I consider it right up there with the teachings of Satya Sai Baba or Amachi or any of the really highly evolved beings.
Yes, and that was my big discovery. I realized at first I thought it was so interesting that they could communicate, and then I realized that wasn't really the big deal. The big deal was how intelligent they are and high level, and just in teaching really high level messages. And I was always interested in delving into these high level messages, and so I had been exploring. those, I had came to Hawaii and had an ashram there, and I spent time with her, and I was out writing, and then so I was writing while I was driving, and not the safest thing, but I made it, and so I got these deeper, big messages, and it was life-changing for me. The messages were life-changing. In addition to the time in the water was life-changing. They were.
Well, because I read your book, I had a really different take on how the dolphins work and how they like to tease and play with you and test you. So now I'm going to tell you my Eva story. So the last time radio, you mentioned Eva, that you swam with her like what, 20 years ago?
Yes. Actually, let's see, 30. And I didn't swim. I was never in the water with her. She was at the Kahala Mandarin Hotel on Oahu, and she was their wisest dolphin, and because she was born in the wild, and she lived several years in the wild with her family before she was captured. So she was different than some of the more innocent dolphins that are born in captivity and don't have the time to learn the depth of what's going on in their society. And so she was really quite a special dolphin, and I got that right away. And I opened my new book, Compelling Conversations with Dolphins and Whales in the Wild, with a story about her and how she showed me the level of her ability to heal. And so that came up in our conversation last week, and we figured out that the dolphins you've been swimming with are at the same place she's now located 30 years later.
So this is, we talked Friday night. Saturday, I found out that she was there. And then I had a telepathic conversation. I said, Eva, if you want me to see you, you've got to help me manifest some money. Now, I own a rock shop healing center in Hawaii. And by the end of the day, I had the money to go see her because this is a dolphin quest. And it's like anybody everywhere, you know, there's no tourists. So they're giving like a 2-for-1 deal, but I couldn't find anybody to go with me. So she manifested the total amount. I called them up. I made the appointment, the play date for this Thursday. So now on Monday or Tuesday, I'm getting my days really mixed up. I think it was Tuesday. My dog and I were attacked by another dog. And I have a little Pomeranian. This other dog was 50, 60 pounds. And truthfully, you know, I kicked the living daylights out of this big dog because it was the only thing I could think of doing at the time. There was no sticks. Everything happened so fast. And believe me, I'm still recovering from some of the shock of going through that. And my dog's okay. I'm okay. But I kicked that dog so hard that I couldn't walk for 2 days. I had to walk with crutches. So I really did my number. So now I'm going, you know, I don't care if I go on crutches, I'm going, but some of the tests that she's teaching, and correct me if I'm wrong, is one on faith and manifesting your dreams and doing it with joy. So now I get to Dolphin Quest, and, you know, I'm walking a little bit better, but I still need crutches. And, you know, they came and picked me up in the cart, which I was really glad, wonderful, and appreciated. So now I get there, and they knew I wanted to have a little bit of a swim with Eva. And they said, of course, if she wanted it. Well, you know, okay. So now I get there, and they go, well, you know, Eva doesn't want to come out yet. She wants to play with the baby a little while longer. So we're hoping she'll come out later. And I went, okay. You know, I still give them these 2 gorgeous dolphins, which I've worked with. And we were having a joyful time and a playful time. And I actually, in a way, forgot about Eva. And then there came a time they go, oh, okay, she's going to come out now. So she came out, and Eva's 49 years old, guys. We're talking about communicating with a divine matriarch. And I asked all three dolphins that I swam with, including Eva was at the end, if they would ping my leg and, help me shift the energy. Oh, before I went there, okay, after I did this, had the dog attack, now I am so worried, right? What are the dolphins going to, now remember, I'm in a little bit of shock, but what are the dolphins going to think? Are they going to get mad at me because I, really kicked the shit out of this dog? Not enjoy. And, what are they going to want to play with me and hang out with me? Oh my God. So that night I got this vision of the dolphins attacking a shark.
Mm.
My message was you were protecting your own, and that was dog shark.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I went, okay, all right, now I feel better. So now I say I went dolphin on that dog, right? So, so my lesson was with Eva is she was testing me. And, if you get something different, please share with me. She was testing
I'm
me,
with you.
and she was staying away from me to see how I would react. Would I be upset? Wasn't going to come out and play with me right away? Am I going to take it, as an ego thing? Or am I going to accept what it is, have faith that she's going to be there, and have patience and have that patience and be joyful with what I was doing while I was waiting? So
Totally, you got it.
I think I passed because she showed up, and I was trying to explain that to the girls there, and they're going, well, she wanted to play with the baby, and I go, this is what she did. So I'm giving them new insights, and I also looked at them and I started laughing, and I go, you guys, these guys do a lot of tricks for you, and did you ever think that maybe they're putting the thoughts that they are willing to do these tricks into your mind, waiting for you to pick it up? And when you do, you go, oh, I've got a great idea. I think we'll see if we get them to do this.
Right, that's right.
And then when they get it, the dolphins below are kind of, clipping their fins together going, oh God, she got it. And it took us off. But
Well, that's interesting you say that, because when they first started training them, the dolphins were showing them tricks and then they would reinforce them. The dolphins would initiate the tricks, and then they would start to reinforce them for doing the trick that they just did.
Right. And there was one of the times I swam with one of the dolphins, and what they were training the dolphins is to swim with you. Okay. Well, if you don't have fins on and you've got one hand on a dolphin, and the dolphin is supposed to go slow enough, but you're struggling. You know what I mean? You got one trying to, and the dolphin's supposed to keep pace with you. Well, the message I got was, hang on and let go and let me do it. So I did, and it flipped him out, because that's not what they taught the dolphin to do. And I tried to explain it. I go, look, this is what she told me to do. So we would become one and I would stop struggling. So, the next time they still didn't like it, and they wouldn't let her pull me because I had a bad leg. We don't want you retraining her, okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. That's right. One time at Sea Life Park on Oahu, the famous Sea Life Park, it's their major dolphinarium there, and it's also a research center. They had gotten a new dolphin, brand new, and they were doing a show, and the dolphin slipped into the show. They got into the show rather than in the holding tank, and did the show perfectly. Had never been trained. It was brand new capture, and nobody ever really understood how the dolphin did that. But they, obviously it was just able to pick it up telepathically from the others, and knew the routine.
So I
Yeah.
keep giving them little hints, these people that the Dolphins are working with. I go, look, start working with them telepathically. It's like they want me to get these guys to shift to a higher level than where they're at because they're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
They believe that
Mm-hmm.
they could do is hand signs. And, if you look at some of the videos I sent you, you'll see my hands are up in the air because they made me do it so I wouldn't confuse the
Mm.
Dolphins because they wanted me to be the trainer.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Oh,
There are trainers, there are famous trainers that don't use any signals at all. They use only their telepathy. Rick
these,
O'Berry is one of them. He's one of the more famous dolphin trainers. But there are several of them. I named them in the book. But yeah, so because, at first I used to not understand that, and I got to know a lot of the trainers, and they've really just, been taught to feel that it is all conditioning,
mm-hmm.
and um, and our literature really doesn't talk. We don't go there on how intelligent they are, even though their brains are much larger than ours and have more convolutions in them, and there's just more. If you really stand back, it's very clear that they have the potential for much more intelligence than we do.
Well, they're
Um,
dropping hints not hints. They've been literally telling the dolphin trainers about your book. And, what we're going to start talking about is all the insights that you picked up from the dolphins and how to manifest. And, they're going, I would like to manifest. So, here they're going to be
Good,
buying a piece of your book and it's going to take them into a new dimension. So it'll be
good, fun.
so let's
That's
talk
good.
dolphin insights. Is that okay?
So, yeah. So one of the things you were doing, is you were really just surrendering to what Eva wanted to do, and you got yourself there, and you really had the, you had the thought of, are they going to like me today after I've just kicked, another animal, and that was on your mind, and you knew they were aware of it, and you wanted to be attractive to them, but you really did a good shift by just going with the truth. That's the way it was, and how are you going to respond to it? And I'm aware.
Notice that if they want kids there, I'm going to have to get over it because they love kids.
I
And
know. Well,
okay,
that might have been part of what she was doing too, is just staying with the kids for a while, just to let you get another little hit on that lesson.
yeah, I did, trust me. If there's any kid that can
Mm-hmm.
play, kids to play with. And I have to say,
Mm-hmm.
they allow two groups in. So it's usually me and
Mm-hmm.
the other person, and then another whatever comes in, and it's always a kid. I get it. And I forgot about that other group. I was so in tune to the dolphins that I forgot they were even there.
Oh, good. Yeah. So that's another part of what you were doing. See, what I did at the beginning is I was just, I was just trying to fuss and rearrange things and, get in charge, and because that's a little bit of my nature, or it was more so before I started to swim with them, and that just really being, you know, being my really at the center of my own heart and my own soul and just who I am, and not trying to organize the rest of the environment around me and the way people decide to do things and what order they're going to do it in and the way they're going to do it, and just be my most attractive self, just finding that place in me that can just feel relaxed and happy and loving and kind and gentle and joyful. And as you say, it's what all the masters teach. But humans just seem to really have a hard time getting a hold of that lesson. We're just
Well,
that.
one of the lessons, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is because they're so telepathic that, in
Mm-hmm.
the world, there's much more harmony. And, I call it the dolphin challenge. Can you go 12 hours one day and just be positive? Don't be snarky, don't be sarcastic. And that may mean you have to get away from social media for 12 hours.
Mhm. Mhm. And that is, yes, and that is a dolphin challenge, and that's exactly what it is. How long can you maintain your best self? Your just very best self. And the other part is how long can you stay with joy? How long can you just really be enjoying joy? Because joy doesn't have a lot of drama in it. And we get very hooked on the drama of, the news and social media, what's going on. And so they play and they tease and they just have fun, and it gets a little slow. They do some, the spinners start leaping in the air and squealing and making you laugh, and then they stop for a while and hide, and then they come and jump right next to you and scare you to death. And they just keep it going. They keep thinking of things to do to just change it up and make it funny, make it fun. But they're also blasting you with so much of their energy, and that there's a euphoria that takes over. So being in their presence, there's an energy that also they share, and that is kind of your train ride to euphoria. And so they help you, and once you know how to feel that, you can take it home with you.
It's also a form of bliss.
Also what?
Form of bliss.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And once you're there, they carry you there. And then once you get it and feel it, it's easier just to hang there yourself. It gets easier and easier. It's like meditating. That's the point of the meditating, is it gets so it's easier to stay in your gentle, calm center of your soul and heart, and get coherence between your busy mind and your gentle heart, and just get the mind more in the alignment of the energy of the heart. And go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm just listening. I'm showing a picture of me nose to nose with Eva.
Oh, I can't wait to see that. I have that on my phone. I'll check it out later. Yeah, well, because you were going to be swimming with Eva, I was really in communication with her the last few days since we talked. And I knew you were going to be swimming with her, and she's just been having a little chat with me as well. And just kind of, there was a real connection there all week long. And I had a tooth that was not behaving and was getting very loose, and the dentists were worrying. And I just thought, so it's funny because Eva kind of said, well, you used to ask me to help you with things like that. How about now? And so I did. And by the time I got to the dentist, he said, there's really nothing wrong. This tooth has receded itself, and we don't have to do a thing. What are you doing here? So,
I believe it. Because I with crutches and I walked out, I could walk out pretty well. Slow, but I didn't need the crutches. So there's so many lessons. And if they were showing me, because I also asked, and I asked for each one of them. And Eva, she made these really high-pitched sounds while she was under there. And now it's like it does take me a week to process. And I go home and I'm out for hours.
Oh, yeah.
And you're
That's so weird, isn't it? Yeah, but you've been worked on.
Energy. Oh, it's like, bring it on, guys.
So did you say she did some high squeals while you were in the water with her?
Yes, when she was working on my leg.
Oh, okay. Did you feel any pinging? Could you feel it?
No. And and it's me, I don't know. It's a new energy, and I don't know how they do it. They don't have to be necessarily right in front of you to ping you. And they were, like on the side of my leg.
Yeah, the first time I got a healing from the dolphins, I was sitting on the beach, and I had a jaw problem, and they completely fixed it. And years later, my daughter-in-law's grandma went with me out to see the dolphins, and we were sitting on the beach, and she said, "Oh my goodness, Bobbie, something's just happening with my jaw. I have had a bad jaw, and I feel it moving." And then she said, "It doesn't hurt anymore." And so they did the same thing with her years later. And that's part of their humor. They just kind of, because I was very struck by the fact that my jaw had been fixed. I'd had it for over a year, this problem, and it got fixed. And actually, I was in the water when mine was fixed.
I want it all. T-Mobile has been building America's largest 5G network for this epic 5G moment. And I want it now. Introducing the new iPhone 12 Pro. Now at T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage. Download, upload, and game at 5G speed in more places. Unleash the power of iPhone 12 Pro with T-Mobile.
Capable device required. Coverage not available in some areas. Some uses may require certain plan or features. See T-Mobile.com.
And then years later, hers got fixed while she was sitting on the beach. But it's just kind of a little confirmation. You thought your jaw got fixed? Well, we're going to fix Grandma's jaw now. And she's going to tell you about it, and you're going to kind of go, oh, that really did happen. And they have a way of reinforcing the things that you think, did that really happen? Mm-hmm. Or am I just, imagining it? And then they'll find a way to reinforce that.
Well, I would be able to work with them like I do now if it wasn't for your book and your insight.
Yes, you're more aware of what's going on.
Yeah, it's like even when she didn't want to come see me, it's like, oh, honey, I get it.
Well, I think it's very amusing that she was staying with a child too, because that was one of your things that you didn't like to be. You like to be in the water with just the dolphins by yourself without the children interfering. So
we're still.
So she's like, well, we'll stay with the babies for a while, and then we'll come see you.
Oh God, I can see they're going to work that one with me for quite a while. Right.
Yeah.
I wish I could bring my grandkids, honest to God, and I can't. It's like I would bring you kids, but they're not.
Where are they? Are they in Hawaii too?
No, they're in Virginia.
Okay, so.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
Conducive.
Well, they do just love babies, I think, more than anything else. And I said last week that if you ever go out and you want to attract dolphins, so first of all, the main thing is you have to have your own heart in a really good place. And that's not really true. They'll come and work with people who are not in a good place. But they'll do that with some people, and then other people, they make you notice that your heart's not in the right place, and they help you just to get that you need to get it right, and then they'll come. But in other cases, if you're just on a boat, and if there's live music on the boat, they'll come. I've never been on a boat with live music where they didn't show up. And if you have a baby, I've never been on a boat with a baby that they didn't show up, or children. And they love pets.
So what does it mean when they run into you?
What was that?
What does it mean? What is your take? Like a dolphin, when I had my one son in the water here in Hawaii, and one of the dolphins actually ran into him. And I was wondering if they were giving him a healing when they did that.
And did he need anything at the time when they did it? Was he in need of anything?
Not that we knew of. I may have noticed something that he may not have, and it seems like the dolphin hit it in that area.
Uh-huh. Well, one woman was reported to be hit in the chest by a dolphin, and I believe this was one in captivity. It was, it was hard enough that she went to the doctor to get an X-ray, and they found a tumor. And so that initiated the hospital visit and the discovery.
Wow. Well, interesting. Okay, let's talk about the insights, because we can talk about dolphins. We might have to do another show if we keep this up.
So,
all right. So,
well, my first insight. Well, do you want to go through all the insights of one of the ones I just told you about is the insight of being attractive to your dreams. And that's a manifesting insight and that's just one of them, not in order of the way I listed them, but they didn't teach them in order either. They taught them simultaneously. But you really need to be attractive to your dreams, just like you're attracted to a dream. This is how I kind of got the idea of what they were saying. You're attracted to us and you want us to come to you, but are we attracted to you? You go toward dreams because you're attracted to them, but you don't go toward things you're repelled by or that are misbehaving. And so they really got the message that our job is to be attractive to our dreams, not just to dolphins, but to our dreams as well. Because when we're attractive, the attractiveness is magnetic, and it magnetizes things to you that you yearn for. So part of it, too, is selecting what you want, being clear what you want, and then yearning for it. The feeling of yearning is part of drawing and calling the dream to you. Even when you were swimming with Eva yesterday, you were yearning for her to come to you, and you were allowing her to be where she was. So you weren't messing up your own energy by getting upset and impatient. So you stayed attractive, but you also you were also wanting and yearning for that. And she knows that you were yearning, or she might have just spent the whole time with the babies. She might not have known that you were calling her if you hadn't yearned for her. So when we yearn for things, yeah, you got it. So when you yearn for things, that you're calling them and they know to come to you, because otherwise they won't particularly notice you. And, I don't know if you've swum with her before, but you were particularly interested in swimming with her, and she got that.
Well, she's 49 years old. I mean, her knowledge, and she's able to not only communicate with the tame dolphins, but with the wild dolphins too. So, like I said, her as a divine matriarch, very highly spiritual being. And, whatever you want to give me, whatever energy, however you want to help me shift and do it in joy, I am open, and let's do it. So that's how I approach them, and we'll do it in play. Whatever you want to do, I am open, but I'm open to receiving and allowing you to shift me.
And she did get that, so she came out and she paid attention to you. Did she gaze into your eyes at all?
Yes.
She's a big gazer. I love Eva's gaze. She
put her head and nose on
Wait,
my shoulder.
I missed that, Cathy. Say it again.
I'm pretty sure she put her head and nose on my shoulder. It was so sweet. Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet. Very sweet. Well, so you were really touched by a master. That's great.
Oh, gosh.
She's high level.
The girls are laughing. It's the 6th time I've gone to see them. Well, I'm in Dolphin School. They are teaching. And, I'm taken on as a student. And like any other teacher, they're making me pay for the class.
Mm-hmm.
But the girls were laughing because you got to wear these life jackets when you go in, right? And they go,
Uh-huh.
hey, the next time you come, we'll have one bedazzled for you. And all really glitzy. And I go, yeah, I pay more than paid for one of those, right?
That's really cute.
And
So they're having fun with you being there too.
I think so. And these girls, I question them on things they never think about. It's like, since you've been working with the Dolphins, have you ever gotten sick? And they have to sit down
Mm-hmm.
and pause and think and realize, no, they haven't.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Good
go,
for you.
the Dolphins are keeping you in joy. So when you're in that happy state, you've elevated your energy and, also your immune system.
Yep, that's right. That's right. The other thing that they do is with their sonar, they can tap on you. And sometimes you can feel the pinging tapping, and sometimes you don't, but you can tell you've been worked on because of that fatigue you get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know how you say you're really, just very tired when you get home, and so they've been working on you. So it's interesting because I'm curious to know something. Your dog, the trauma, that was traumatic to be attacked by a dog. I've been attacked by a dog once, and it was very traumatic. It's shocking how traumatic it is because you realize that they're not reasoning. They're just, they're in it. And you can't really control it or get it to stop unless something makes them, gets distracted or, as you did, you kick the dog away until the dog, surrendered to you being in charge. But it's a big deal. Did the dog bite you, or were just attacking, going after?
And my little Pomeranian, her fur is so thick I have to cut her every 2 weeks because it's hot in Hawaii and she's black. And
Mm-hmm.
I trim her. So, she had bruises, but she has bounced back amazingly. I've kept her at home. I've spoiled her. I haven't today is the first day I've had to pick her up and she didn't squeal. I mean, she's ready to go for
Mm-hmm.
a walk. And all I could do is I go, honey, I can't. Oh, you're feeling Mama ain't. Okay. So she is.
But one of the things they do too is clear trauma with their pinging. So when you've had, have you heard of tapping?
Yes.
Okay. So they do the tapping on you, and so even though you've had that traumatic event, you can feel pretty clear about it and not be scared of dogs or whatever afterwards. You can really release it and let it go. And I don't know how traumatized you were, but had you been traumatized, they would be able to help you release that as well.
I'm sure they did. I was pretty traumatized. And, I can still feel I'm still out of it a little bit. And that's okay because the next 2 days, I'm just going to kick back and allow my leg to really heal and not be in the store. It is what is, and you just have to allow it to happen. When you really hurt, you have to heal, you've got to rest.
Mm-hmm.
For me, and I laugh, and it's like my washing machine broke today. And I know. And I won't get another one till Wednesday because I ordered a new one. And I'm thinking, you guys just took my wash machine away. I can't do laundry for, a week? Okay, so you really want me to rest. We need to talk.
Well, the other thing is like with the money that, most people want to manifest some sort of income or money, because that's one of the things that we tend to feel short on in life. And so, using the insights to manifest money is helpful. To pay for your washing machine, then you can look at it as a new washing machine instead of a loss. But the other insight is showing up for your dreams, which you're really doing by, getting yourself to the dolphin pond lagoon and getting yourself there in their presence, and absorbing the lessons and learning them, and then it's interesting because I don't find it, it's serendipitous that you picked up the book at the time that you were enjoying this time with them, and kind of seeing more with more consciousness, more awareness, what was going on while you're there with them. You can see the deeper layer of what's going on in your relationship. And then the more you see that the trainers don't always see it, that they love the dolphins. They're good to them. The Dolphin Quest group, they're very good to their dolphins. I really am impressed with how they work with them. But if they don't have this other layer of awareness that you're, bringing to the situation, they miss out. They don't get to see it. They don't get to see what's going on. They don't get to see the next layer of depth that's there for them to enjoy. So you're doing them, I think, a favor.
I really believe this is destiny. And, I also believe that when I go there and after I go there, that they talk about me. The dolphins. It's like, what did she do? Was she okay? Did you like her energy? What do you think? Should we be around her the next time? You know what I mean? But I had to come back 6 times before Eva would see me. And that's how I look at it. It's like, you had to make sure that I'm sincere. And every time I go back there, I talk to them about world enlightenment and helping me manifest world enlightenment.
Oh, so, good. That's nice. So they'll like that.
Well,
they do. They really. That was a lot of what I got was humanity can do this. They just never really try. And so that was part of the insights too. Is it's not that hard if you commit to it, if you're interested in it, if you want to do it.
You have to commit, like you said. And one of the things you mentioned is the dolphin said, if your dream hasn't manifested yet, A, you have to have patience. B, you're not putting enough energy into it. And I'm thinking, oh, great. I've been on world enlightenment for 30 years. Oh. Okay.
Yes. Well, I think the big change, the difference that I got when I was from them is whenever I would really if I wanted something that felt like it was hard to get, if I could stay focused on it, and you know how we learn to desire it and then release it and leave it to the universe to bring it to you. And they don't say that. They say keep yearning. That keep the yearning going, because the yearning is the connection between you and the dream. And when you let it go, you break the connection. So you keep the yearning in your heart, almost like a purr. And you just keep it there, and it's a happy yearning. You're not frantic or upset or rushing it. You're just keeping the connection to yourself and the dream. And so if I do that every morning in my meditation, I just, I spend part of my meditation time, really activating my heart's purring and yearning. And then I go for a walk and I'm just yearning during that part of my walk. Not, I don't do it the whole time, but while I'm working on manifesting. And so they don't say, just they say, stay connected to your dream, stay focused on it. And it's, if you want, say you want some money, and you're saying, oh my God, I'm so poor, I never have enough money, then you're really breaking that connection as well. So you really can't just indulge your mind in the complaints.
And be open to miracles.
Yes.
Well,
absolutely.
I have to share real quick. After I swam with the dolphins the first time, the tame ones, and I had no expectations, and it was just pure joy. 2 weeks later, I had a very wealthy man come and buy all the amethyst pieces I shop, and then buy this incredibly huge amethyst from a mine that I was a go-between. And I'm financially and really the best place I have ever been. I mean, I'm 67, okay, and I've not ever been financially secure like this. And I know they did. They had a big part of that.
That's great.
So,
that's a serendipity. Big things happen.
Oh, yeah. So we're talking about compelling conversations with dolphins and whales with Bobbie.
You cut out there, Cathy. I didn't hear that. Can you say it again?
Oh, we're talking with Bobbie Merrill about her new book, Compelling Conversations with Dolphins and Whales. And how did they get your book?
Okay, it's on Amazon. And so just getting to Amazon and type in Compelling Conversations with Dolphins and Whales in the Wild. And I'm Bobbie Merrill, Merrill. And the Kindle version right now is actually currently for free as a gift from me and the Dolphins.
Wow, guys, I would take advantage of that if I were you. It can change your life.
If you like it and do a review, that would be wonderful to help the Dolphins and me spread the word. And you can do a review if you get the free one.
Definitely, I will do that.
Yeah. So I'm getting fabulous feedback on it. So I've been very gratified that this has worked out so well. I felt actually, using my compelled word, I felt compelled to update it. It just seemed like it was a good time for the world to hear this message. It's got a lot of information in it about how we can be in the world the way it is and how we can help to make it the one we want, rather than the one we're kind of got stuck in here for a while. And it seems weird because I started to do this rewrite 3 years ago, and I had no idea this current state of the world was coming, and it got launched right in the middle of it. So it's interesting because it really has a lot of information about how we can be personally our best selves and stay in our joy, as well as influence and truly manifest, if we're willing to focus on it, the world that we want. Unfortunately, the news is pulling us so heavily into the world we don't want, and it's hard to look away. And it's really important to spend at least part of your day making it clear what you really want, and doing that yearning and what I call purring in your heart to make it happen. And I did manage to manifest a lot of amazing things, including my soulmate. So, and how that happened is an interesting story, but it really just does work. And when I stop using it, because I get lazy because I have so many things working in my life, that I forget, that I can still be working on things, then I noticed that things don't go as easily the way I was hoping they would. So then I remember, oh my gosh, I have to get back to that. And so when I do, things start to just really happen. And a good example is my tooth. I thought, oh my goodness, I really want to keep my tooth. And so I got with it, and I also had a little chat with Eva, and it was just felt like a miracle that this tooth that was loose, and I was looking for if anybody could just save it, or if I had to deal with an implant, or what I was going to have to do. And all of a sudden, it's just back in my mouth and firmly in there, and it's just weird.
Yeah, I have to say that my leg, a lot of the bruising that's come up has gone away as we are speaking. So, yeah, isn't this fun? They're all here and they're all tuning in tonight, and they're going, yay!
Yes. They get so happy when we get it too. They really do. I mean, they make it very clear. They just celebrate if you get to be in the water with them, or see them from land, or have connection with them. But when you read the book too, I've had people say the book actually healed them, and you are there with them. It's like you have been swimming with them.
Well, you're in that energy. That's why I love talking to you. It's like talking about any master, whether it's Sai Baba or Amrichi or Guru Mai. You're in that energy. So now we're in that joyful dolphin energy. What can we say? But thank you.
I know. Yes. Yeah.
But we've gone time already. I can't believe it's over. We're going to have this again because there's so much we haven't even talked about.
Okay. I'm up for it. That's good. Do people have a way of asking their questions? I don't know how your particular radio program works. I know radio is different